In this video, I'm going to look at the difference between soldering with a traditional temperature rated soldering iron and a resistance soldering iron. I'm using flux and solder, so the same stuff for both, and I'm soldering together 2mm diameter copper wire. So first of all, I'm going to do the traditional iron. So I'm going to add some flux to the solder joint. And what I tend to do is preload the iron a bit, some solder, and then apply heat to both pieces of copper and wait for the copper to heat up, and then apply the solder to the opposite side. Here we go. So that's now starting to melt on the bottom, a bit more heat on the top. Here we go. And I think that's plenty there. That will cool down. So now I'm going to clean it with washing up liquid and wire wool, both sides. And let's have a look at the joint. Yeah, very good, nice and strong. And now let's do the same but with the resistance iron. So I'm going to do that joint there. That's the negative power line, and that's the positive one there. Let me just put a bit of weight on that, keep it nice and still. So I'm going to use the same flux. On the joint, and the same solder. And then what happens with this iron is when you touch the positive terminal, which is this piece of kind of graphite, I think, when you touch that onto the copper, you make an electrical circuit between the negative and the positive. It's only 6 volts that goes through, but it's quite a lot of amps. Both pieces of copper will get really hot because of the high current that is flowing between the two, and when the copper gets hot, you can add the solder and it should melt. So I've got the negative terminal on here, the positive terminal is going on the other piece of copper. It's already flowing. Just going to add a bit of heat on the bottom. Try to get it to wick. A bit on the other side. There we go, that's done. There we go. You can take off the negative terminal, and again, I like to clean it up, and wire wool. So this one here was the resistance solder joint. Looks the same, but it was much easier to do, less time involved to heat up both bits of copper, and yeah, I find it works very, very well. So let's pull it apart, see what can break. No, can't break that one. Can't break that one either. So completely unable to break the joints. So if you're doing sculpture work or rolling ball art, kinetic machines, things like that, not just electrical connection, but actually something that's physically. There, that one's gone. And that one's gone. Managed to twist it off. If you're doing something that's physically needs to be quite strong, then either will give you a good joint, but I just find it a little bit easier with the resistance iron. Thanks for watching. See you next time.